All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking for a trading edge in a pretty unexpected place, a 3,000-year-old book of wisdom. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. But we're going to explore how the book of Proverbs can actually be seen as this incredibly practical manual for the psychological war zone that is modern market trading.
So here's the core idea. We're not talking about some vague spiritual wishful thinking here. The source material frames Proverbs as a set of direct, hard-nosed observations about reality, about cause and effect. It's a book about how things actually work, not just how we'd like them to.
So, you gotta ask, right? What in the world can this ancient text possibly teach us about algorithms, risk management, and market psychology? Well, as it turns out, a whole lot. The tech changes, but the human operating system, not so much.
Now, this is a crucial distinction we have to make. We're not looking for prophecies or some guarantee of hot stock picks. No. Think of Proverbs as an operational manual for your own mind. Why? Because the principles that govern human behavior, things like diligence, pride, making decisions under pressure, these are the timeless, universal forces that have always driven markets, and they always will.
Okay, let's start at square one, the absolute foundation. Before you even think about a system or an analysis, you gotta have the right mindset. And according to Proverbs, the very first step toward any kind of wisdom is humility.
So the book says over and over, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Now that word fear can throw people off. It's not about being terrified. The source interprets this as a deep, fundamental respect for a reality that is way, way bigger and more powerful than you are. And as a trader, what is that reality? It's the market itself.
And you can see how this plays out in the real world. Let's compare these two mindsets. On one side, you've got the foolish trader. This is the person who thinks their analysis is infallible. They get on a winning streak and start thinking they're a genius. And when a loss hits, they're shocked, they're angry. But the wise trader, they know their edge is just a probability. They respect their stop loss. You know why? Because they respect that the market, not their ego, has the final say.
Okay, so once that foundation of humility is in place, the next battle begins, and this one is internal. Proverbs gives us these amazing archetypes of self-sabotage that are just painfully relevant for traders. We're talking about the sluggard, pride, and haste. Check out this progression for the sluggard. This isn't about someone being dramatically lazy. It's about the small stuff. A little sleep, that's skipping your pre-market prep just once. A lion in the street, that's inventing an excuse, saying the market's too choppy to journal today. Each excuse seems harmless on its own, but they add up. And the failure, as Proverbs warns, feels sudden, like a robber in the night. But really, you built the path to it one tiny excuse at a time.
And then there's the next enemy. This one might just be the most dangerous of all, especially for a trader who's starting to do well. Pride. This is one of the most famous lines in the whole book. And boy, is it a perfect description of how a trading account blows up. This is such a key insight. In trading, pride isn't just about being arrogant, it's a technical failure. It's what happens when you're on a hot streak and you start thinking, you know what, my risk rules are too tight, or I don't really need to do my journal today. You start taking apart the very systems that made you successful in the first place. That is the pride that comes right before the fall.
So we've met the enemy, and it is us. Now let's talk about the weapons we can use to fight back. This is all about the practical tools for forging discipline, getting good counsel, and nailing your risk management.
Proverbs says that death and life are in the power of the tongue. And man, is that true for traders? Just look at this. On one side, you have the death sentences. The market is out to get me. I always mess up. That's a victim talking. On the other side, you have the life-giving words. A loss isn't a personal failure, it's just data. A mistake is a lesson. The words you use to talk to yourself literally build your psychological house, for better or for worse.
The next tool is counsel. The principle here is so simple. Any plan you make totally alone is incredibly vulnerable because you can't see your own blind spots. In trading, this means you need a mentor or an accountability partner or even just a super detailed journal that acts like an objective third party. You need another set of eyes, real or metaphorical, on your plan to find the flaws you're blind to.
And for risk management, Proverbs has this ancient concept called surety. It's a warning against, say, co-signing a loan for a stranger. So what's the modern equivalent for a trader? It's the over-leveraged position, plain and simple. It's when you pledge capital you absolutely cannot afford to lose to a market you absolutely cannot control. And get this, the text doesn't say you might get hurt. It says you will suffer for it. It's a certainty.
So we've battled the enemies, we've gathered the tools.
what are we building? What does the finished product even look like? Well, Proverbs actually gives us this incredible aspirational portrait of what a master practitioner looks like.
There's a line in Proverbs that says, "The wisest of women builds her house." This right here, this is the blueprint. Your trading practice isn't just a random series of trades. It's a structure. It's a house that you are building, pillar by pillar. You've got your tested system, your diligent journal, strict risk management, a review process, all of it. Without these pillars, you risk tearing the whole thing down with your own hands.
And this is the goal. This is the portrait of the master trader from the very last chapter of the book. This person isn't anxious, they're not arrogant, their clothing is strength and dignity. And here's the best part. She laughs at the time to come. Why? Not because she knows the future, but because her preparation is so complete, her house is so well built that she's ready for whatever the future brings.
So we'll end on that question, because it's a powerful one. This isn't really about predicting the next market crash or rally. It's about the work you're doing right now, today. Is your journaling, your risk management, your humility? Is it all building a practice that's so strong, so robust, that you can face the unavoidable uncertainty of the markets with confidence instead of fear? Are you building a house that will let you laugh at the future?